Chiquita Brands International Inc. is an American producer and distributor of bananas and other produce. The company operates under a number of subsidiary brand names, including the flagship Chiquita brand and Fresh Express salads. Chiquita is the leading distributor of bananas in the United States. Chiquita is the successor to the United Fruit Company. It was formerly controlled by Cincinnati businessman Carl H. Lindner, Jr., whose majority ownership of the company ended when Chiquita Brands International exited a prepackaged Chapter 11 bankruptcy on March 19, 2002. In 2003, the company acquired the German produce distribution company, Atlanta AG. Fresh Express Salads was purchased from Performance Food Group in 2005. Chiquita's current headquarters is located in Charlotte, North Carolina. On March 10, 2014, Chiquita Brands International Inc. and FIFAS plc announced that the boards of directors of both companies unanimously approved a definitive agreement under which Chiquita will combine with FIFAS, in a stock-for-stock transaction that is expected to result in Chiquita shareholders owning approximately 50.7% of Chiquita FIFAS and FIFAS shareholders owning approximately 49.3% of the proposed Chiquita FIFAS, on a fully diluted basis. The agreement would have created the largest banana producer in the world and would have been domiciled in Ireland. Though an intervening offer by Cuttrail and Safra Groups of $611 million in August 2014 was rejected by Chiquita, with the company saying it would continue with its merger with FIFAS. On October 24, Chiquita announced that the shareholders at a company special meeting had rejected the merger with FIFAS. Instead, the Cuttrail-Safra acquisition offer was then accepted by the shareholders. History. Early history. Chiquita Brands International's history began in 1870 when ship's captain Lorenzo Dal Baker purchased 160 bunches of bananas in Jamaica and resold them in Jersey City 11 days later. In 1873, Central American Railroad developer Minor C. Keith began to experiment with banana production in Costa Rica. Later, he planted bananas alongside a Costa Rican railroad track to provide revenue for the railroad. In 1878, Baker partnered with Andrew Preston to form the Boston Fruit Company. United Fruit Company was founded in 1899 when the Boston Fruit Company and various fruit exporting concerns controlled by Keith merged. In 1903, United Fruit Company was listed on the New York Stock Exchange and began the first company to use refrigeration during open sea transport. By 1930, the company's fleet had grown to 95 ships. The brand name Chiquita was registered as a trademark in 1947. By 1955, United Fruit Company was processing 2.7 billion pounds of fruit a year. In 1966, the company expanded into Europe. In 1970, the company merged with AMK Corporation and changed its name to United Brands Company. Eli Black took a controlling interest by outbidding two other conglomerates, Zapata Corporation and Textron. In 1980, Chiquita was an official sponsor of the Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. In 1990, the company renamed itself Chiquita Brands International, as it undertook major investments in Costa Rica. In 1993, the company was hit by European tariffs on the import of Latin American bananas. In 1994, select Chiquita farms were certified the Rainforest Alliance's Better Banana Project as being environmentally friendly. In 1995, the company sold the John Morrell meat business that was part of the original AMK Corporation. In 1998, the world's largest banana processing facility debuted in Costa Rica. Controversy, Cincinnati Enquirer charges. On May 3, 1998, the Cincinnati Enquirer published an 18-page section, Chiquita Secrets Revealed by investigative reporters Michael Gallagher and Cameron McWhirter. The section accused the company of mistreating workers on its Central American plantations, polluting the environment, allowing cocaine to be brought to Borneo on its ships, bribing foreign officials, evading foreign nations' laws on land ownership, forcibly preventing its workers from unionizing, and a host of other misdeeds. Chiquita denied all the allegations, and sued after it was revealed that Gallagher had repeatedly hacked into Chiquita's voicemail system. A special prosecutor was appointed to investigate, because the elected prosecutor at the time had ties to Carl Lindner, Jr. On June 28, 1998, the Inquirer retracted the entire series of stories and published a front-page apology saying it had become convinced that the published accusations and conclusions are untrue and created a false and misleading impression of Chiquita's business practices. The Inquirer also agreed to pay a multi-million-dollar settlement. The exact amount was not disclosed, but Chiquita's annual report mentions a cash settlement in excess of $10 million. Gallagher was fired and prosecuted, and the paper's editor, Lawrence K. B. Bray, was transferred to the Gannett's headquarters amid allegations that he ignored the paper's usual procedures on fact-checking. In an article examining the Chiquita series, Salon.com said the Chiquita Secrets Revealed series presents a damning, carefully documented array of charges, most of them untainted by those purloined executive voicemails. Environmental awareness. In 1998, a coalition of social activist groups, led by the European Banana Action Network, targeted the banana industry in general and Chiquita in particular, aiming to create a new climate of corporate social responsibility. Their strategy was to encourage small farming of bananas rather than large-scale monoculture, and to push for subsidies and other government relief to level the field for small producers. The Fair Trade movement, which sought to influence consumers to purchase the products of smallholders, also joined in the action. Chiquita responded to the activism with changes in corporate management and new patterns of global competition, according to J. Gary Taylor and Patricia Scarlin. Chiquita partnered with the Rainforest Alliance, an environmental group dedicated to preserving the rainforest, and made major reforms in the way they plant and protect their bananas. The changes focused on the use of pesticides but also affected corporate culture. In 2000, Chiquita adopted a new code of conduct that included the Social Accountability International's SA 8000 labor standard. Also in 2000, Chiquita achieved Rainforest Alliance certification for environmental friendly practices on 100% of its farms. In 2001, Walmart named Chiquita as the Environmental Supplier of the Year. Payments to paramilitary groups. On March 14, 2007, Chiquita Brands was fined $25 million as part of a settlement with the United States Justice Department for having ties to Colombian paramilitary groups. According to court documents, between 1997 and 2004, officers of a Chiquita subsidiary paid approximately $1.7 million to the right-wing United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, in exchange for local employee protection in Colombia's volatile banana harvesting zone. Similar payments were also made to the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, as well as the National Liberation Army from 1989 to 1997, both left-wing organizations. All three of these groups are on the U.S. State Department list of foreign terrorist organizations. Chiquita sued to prevent the United States government from releasing files about their illegal payments to Colombian left-wing guerrillas and right-wing paramilitary groups. According to a Wall Street Journal report in 2004, outside attorneys for Chiquita notified the company that the payments violated U.S. anti-terrorism laws and should not continue. However, payments to the groups continued until Chiquita sold its subsidiary, Banades, in June 2004. On December 7, 2007, the 29th Specialized District Attorney's Office in Medellin, Colombia subpoenaed the Chiquita board to answer questions concerning charges for conspiracy to commit an aggravated crime and financing illegal armed groups. 9 board members named in the subpoena allegedly personally knew of the illegal operations. One executive for the company penned a note which proclaimed that the payments were the cost of doing business in Colombia, and also noted the need to keep this very confidential. People can get killed. In 2013 and 2014, Chiquita spent $780,000 lobbying against the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act. On July 24, 2014, a U.S. appeals court threw out a lawsuit against Chiquita by 4,000 Colombians alleging that the corporation was aiding the right-wing paramilitary group responsible for the deaths of family members. The court ruled 2-1 that U.S. federal courts have no jurisdiction over Colombian claims. Workers' rights. In May 2007, the French non-governmental organization Pupils Solidaires publicly accused the company Plus or Minus a Banana at La Ntica Limitada, a Chiquita subsidiary, of knowingly violating its workers' basic rights, and endangering their families' health and their own. According to the charge, the banana firm carelessly exposed laborers at the Coyol plantation in Costa Rica to highly toxic pesticides on multiple occasions. Additionally, COBAL was accused of using a private militia to intimidate workers. Finally, Pupils Solidaires claimed that Chiquita ignored some union complaints for more than a year. Restructuring. In November 2001, Chiquita filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in order to restructure the company. It emerged from the bankruptcy on March 19, 2002, ending Cincinnati businessman Carl H. Lindner, Jr.'s control of the company. Also in 2002, Chiquita joined the Ethical Trading Initiative and was named as a top green stock by the Progressive Investor. In 2003, Chiquita acquired the German produce distribution company, Atlanta AG. It also sold its processed foods division to Seneca Foods that year. In 2004, 100% of Chiquita farms were certified compliant with the SA 8000 labor standard, and the company earned the Corporate Citizen of the Americas award from a Honduran charity. Fresh Express Salads was purchased from Performance Food Group in 2005. Acquisition. In March 2014, Chiquita Brands International and FIFAS announced that their boards of directors had unanimously approved a merger agreement. In the stock-for-stock transaction, former Chiquita shareholders will own approximately 50.7% of the new company, Chiquita FIFAS, while FIFAS shareholders will own 49.3% of the new company. The all-stock purchase was valued at $526 million. The agreement would have created the largest banana company in the world with projected annual revenues of $4.6 billion and have been domiciled in Ireland but be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Chiquita's CEO Ed Lonergan would have served as chairman and FIFA's executive chairman David McCann would have become the CEO of the proposed entity. Lonergan called this a milestone transaction, and that the combined company will also be able to provide customers with a more diverse product mix and choice. While McCann added that both companies will benefit from their joint expertise, complementary assets and geographic coverage to develop a business. According to Chiquita, the deal will provide substantial operational efficiencies and cost savings. The combined company will have tax savings from being domiciled in Ireland, similar to the 2013 acquisition by U.S. drug maker Perrigo of Irish company Apermil Lan. The deal is a corporate inversion, as the takeover company is relocating its domicile to that of purchased company. A $611 million takeover offer by Cutrail of Brazil and Safra Group in August 2014 was rejected outright by Chiquita, with the company refusing to meet with the bidders to discuss the offer. Chiquita said it was pressing on with its merger with FIFAS. However, shortly after Chiquita shareholders rejected the offer, the Cutrail-Safra offer of $14.50 was accepted. Yet the North Carolina Economic Development Board asserted that if the headquarters was moved away, the company would be due to return NC and local incentive money. Former Charlotte City Council member John Lasseter, who heads the board, said the new owners would inherit Chiquita unregistered trademark S responsibilities under a 2011 deal that brought the company to the city. The agreement stipulates that it received over $23 million in incentives from Charlotte and Mecklenburg County for moving its headquarters and hundreds of high-paying jobs from Cincinnati, and if it moved again within 10 years it must repay the clawback provision. Lasseter said of the matter, ETA unregistered trademark S not a question of opinion. ETA unregistered trademark SA what does the agreement say? A unregistered trademark. I would expect both the city to impress its position and for the to follow expectations under its provisions of the agreement. Operations. Chiquita Brands International operates in 70 countries and employs approximately 20,000 people as of 2014. The company sells a variety of fresh produce, including bananas, ready-made salads, and health foods. The company's Fresh Express brand has approximately $1 billion of annual sales and a 40% market share in the United States. On November 29, 2011, the North Carolina Economic Investment Committee approved $22 million in incentives for Chiquita to move its headquarters to Charlotte, North Carolina. The same day, Chiquita officially announced their move to the city, with the new headquarters residing in the NASCAR Plaza Tower. Research and development was also moved to the Charlotte area. In addition to the incentives, the company cited the growing airport as a reason for the move. According to the company's 2012 annual report, the company was aiming to transform itself into a high-volume, low-cost operator, and to minimize investments outside of its core product offerings. Logo: the company mascot Miss Chiquita, now Chiquita Banana, was created in 1944 by Dick Brown, who is best known for his Ha-Currency Gar the Horrible comic strip. Miss Chiquita started as an animated banana with a woman's dress and legs. Vocalist Patti Clayton was the original 1944 voice of Miss Chiquita, followed by Elsa Miranda, June Valley and Monica Lewis. Advertisements featured the trademark banana character wearing a fruit hat. The banana with a fruit hat was changed into a woman in 1987. A new Miss Chiquita design was unveiled in 1998. Peel-off stickers with the logo started being placed on bananas in 1963. They are still placed by hand today to avoid bruising the fruit. See also: Brand name, paramilitarism in Colombia, Union of Banana Exporting Countries, United Fruit Company. References. Further reading: Bender, Nicholas. Banana Report. Columbia Journalism Reviewer, France, Douglas. After apology, issues raised in Chiquita articles remain. The New York Times PPA 1, A14, France, Douglas. Mysteries Behind Stories Publication. The New York Times. PA 14, Stein, Nicholas. Banana Peel. Columbia Journalism Reviewer, Mike Gallagher and Cameron McWhirter, Chiquita Secrets Revealed, Cincinnati Enquirer, May 3, 1998. The Business and Human Rights Management Report Chiquita Brands International, Ethical Corporate Magazine, November 2004. Buccelli, Marcello. Bananas and Business, The United Fruit Company in Colombia, 1899–2000. New York, New York University Press. ISBN A978-0-8147-9934-5. Buccelli, Marcello. Multinational Corporations, Totalitarian Regimes, and Economic Nationalism, United Fruit Company in Central America, 1899–1975. Business History 50, 433 doi, 10.1080/00076790802106315. Buccelli, Marcello. Banana Wars Maneuvers. Harvard Business Review 83, 22 €24. Buccelli, Marcello. Jeffrey Jones. The Octopus and the Generals. Harvard Business School Caser, Buccelli, Marcello. Link. The United Fruit Company in Latin America, Business Strategies in a Changing Environment. In Jones, Jeffrey. Wadani, R. Daniel. Entrepreneurship and Global Capitalism 2. Cheltenham, Edward Elgar PPA 342 €383. Buccelli, Marcello. Enforcing Business Contracts in South America, the United Fruit Company and the Colombian Banana Planters in the 20th Century. Business History Review 78, 181 €212 doi, 10.2307/25096865. JSTORA 25096865. Buccelli, Marcello. Reed, Ian. Banana Boats and Baby Food, The Banana in U.S. History. In Topic, Stephen. Marichal, Carlos. Frank, Zephyr. From Silver to Cocaine, Latin American Commodity Chains and the Building of the World Economy, 1500 to 2000. Durham, Duke University Press. ISBN A978-0-8223-3766-9. Buccelli, Marcelo. Link. United Fruit Company in Latin America. Inmerberg, Mark. Strifler, Steve. Banana Wars, Power, Production, and History in the Americas. Durham, Duke University Press. ISBN A978-0-8223-3196-4. Buccelli, Marcelo. Link. United Fruit Company. In GISST, Charles. Encyclopedia of American Business History. London, Facts on File. ISBN A978-0-8160-4350-7. Buccelli, Marcelo. Link. United Fruit Company. In McCusker, John. History of World Trade since 1450. New York, Macmillan, Taylor, Gary. Patricia Charlin. Smart Alliance, How a Global Corporation and Environmental Activists Transformed a Tarnished Brand. New Haven, Yale University Press. The Importance of Corporate Responsibility, Economist Intelligence Unit, January 2005. Chiquita Brands, A Turnaround That Is Here to Stay, Winslow Environmental News, January 2004. The Banana Giant That Found Its Gentle Side, Financial Times, December 2002. Chiquita wins raves for outstanding sustainability reporting, greenbiz.com, April 3, 2003. External links. Chiquita Brands International Official Site, Chiquita Bananas Official Site, United Fruit Historical Society. This site contains a detailed chronology of the history of Chiquita, biographies of the company's main protagonists, and an extensive bibliography. Counterpunch, July 17, 2009, From Albans to Zelaya, Chiquita in Latin America with video report by Democracy Now! Chiquita lauded for human rights abuses by Dan Kovalik, Counterpunch, January 12, 2010, Chiquita, Between Life and Law. Al Jazeera, June 2009, The Chiquita Papers at the National Security Archive. Chiquita asks court to block suits blaming Banana Giant for violent deaths in Colombian Civil War. Associated Press, September 2013.